Bitcoin is getting ready for another move right now here, and while this is happening, we're creating another CME gap for Bitcoin. So I will be exactly talk about this CME gap, what it means for Bitcoin, and many more important charts, because I want to be quickly talk about what we're currently exactly seeing in this price section right here, what we're doing with our next trades, what is going to be happening next in terms of news, and many more important stuff we need to discuss right now. So without any further ado, don't forget to slap on that like button on today's update video, and let me jump straight away in towards the content. So on the imminent short term, guys, we're seeing the Bitcoin create another CME gap over the course of last weekend. The CME gap is currently trading between 34.8 to 34.9k, and basically in order to fill it up, we have to go below that price. But of course, what we do notice that we even got another CME gap trading below us around $34,000. So Bitcoin is right now really going on a trend of creating CME gaps, because literally for the past 3 weeks we have been creating CME gap. So either we don't create any CME gap at all, or either we create a CME gap and it tends to get filled up on the Monday straight away. And now already we got 3 CME gaps in a row, week after week, and all of them are not filled up. What is of course absolutely very interesting to be seeing for Bitcoin, and to see this strength also over the course of the weekend. People are really interested on buying Bitcoin, so that is why the price just keeps pushing up higher over the course of the weekend. So Bitcoin is still trading in this upper sloping support line every single time Bitcoin has touched this level, and yesterday again we somehow touched this level after a big wick towards the downside. We see Bitcoin is bouncing from off this level every single time we touch it, and the top side as well. Every single time we touch that top side, we get rejected from off that higher point in the market. So Bitcoin is clearly getting ready for another move here, and of course I've been saying this for quite a while, guys. Probably within 65 days from now on, we're going to get the Bitcoin spot ETF, because the final ARC deadline is going to be on January 10th 2024, and it's from off today only 65 days away here. So if the SEC were to approve any ETF, they will probably approve them all at the same time, and since ARK Invest is the first final deadline we're expecting before January 10th, we're expecting all of them are going to get accepted. So yes, it is not that long anymore here, and definitely once that news is going to hit the market, it's going to really change what Bitcoin is going to be doing. And yes, we could potentially create this resistance line on the top side, but really if that news hits the market, I won't be surprised for Bitcoin to literally go up for 3 or 4 months in a row. And why am I saying this? I've been saying this quite a while on the channel already, and that is because the news is currently moving the market, because this narrative is really going to be pushing Bitcoin probably through $40,000 and potentially even through $50,000. It may sound pretty insane, but it is a pretty realistic price target for Bitcoin. Why am I saying so? Is because this news, what it is going to be doing here is that of course these issuers are all going to go on a marketing campaign to attract as much money to their ETF as possible, because the more money they have in their ETF, the cheaper the fee can be, and the cheaper the fee is, the more people are actually going to join the ETF, and the more money they have under management, the more money they are going to be making. So it's going to be a very interesting point, and also they're going to all try to launch as soon as possible. And if we're looking at the Ethereum futures ETF, it only took approximately 5 days from acceptance to going live, what is of course absolutely massive, super quickly. And since BlackRock is even seeding their ETF already, we will be probably expecting it will be in a similar timeline. So it gets accepted, and then within 5 days it is going to go live trading, and then we're going to see the real interesting data, and we're going to see the real demand for a Bitcoin spot ETF. So if you want to be trading this, make sure to go to Bybit. Bybit is currently offering you an insane deposit bonus up to $40,000, and without the link in the description, if you just go to the website, it's only 400, so it's a win-win situation for both of us. And yes, if we're really looking at Bitcoin right now, it looks to be that it is just consolidating around this region, really holding up here above $34,000. What is of course a beautiful thing to see. Redistribution, people are getting out of the market, new people are getting in here, and what we can see also here is clearly that Bitcoin is losing some momentum right now on the daily RSI, while the price action still is creeping towards the upside. So we are in fact creating a small little bearish divergence over here, and I'm definitely a little bit worried about it, because this could potentially suggest that we're going to see a small little momentum loss, and Bitcoin could potentially see some bearish price action. But where I'm really worried about is potentially this resistance line right here. But yeah, just like I said, if this news that the ETF gets accepted comes out, Bitcoin is probably going to be crushing through this level. So be very careful if you're going to short Bitcoin right now. I have also opened up a small little short, but my stop loss are so tight, because yes, one small news article has to come out and Bitcoin is just going to crush through all the resistance. That is the importance that you have to understand right now, and that is why I think shorting Bitcoin is extremely dangerous in this period in the market. But if you were to be doing it, make sure to use a very tight stop loss, because otherwise you're going to be losing. And if Bitcoin really continues this move here, guys, we could potentially be looking at once again another overbought weekly scenario here, where Bitcoin probably is going to even extend this move much more significantly than we have already been expecting. So let's see how that is going to be playing out here. But one thing is for sure, many people are thinking there is a lot of buying pressure in the market, but really what I think is that there is just less sell volume in the market, and that is why Bitcoin is moving up, because we can clearly see on the BLX chart, so these are all the charts combined here, so this is the best chart to basically look at the volume for. We can clearly see that indeed the volume has seen a slight uptick here towards the upside, but nothing compared. I mean, here in this consolidation phase, we did about 123k Bitcoin in terms of volume, and then on the push towards the upside, we saw about 166 to 200k Bitcoin in volume. So indeed, the volume almost is up by 50%, but you have to understand on these moves up, we tend to also see more sell pressure. But basically what then in fact is happening is that less people are actually selling their Bitcoin, and that is why we're moving up. There's no big difference between this week and the weeks before, but there's just less selling pressure on Bitcoin, and that makes it for me very, very interesting in my opinion. The volume remains to be pretty low here, and even though Bitcoin is going higher, so there are just a lot of sellers that are looking to be a little bit exhausted, and if this trend continues, Bitcoin can really go much higher. And I've been saying this also on my Twitter, because we can currently clearly see is that 90% of all the Bitcoin supply has not moved over 6 months right now here, even though we're trading above 34,000 US dollars. So there's a clear change of structure in the market, and less of people are actually interested in selling their Bitcoin, and that is the exact reason why we're moving upwards. More and more people are getting the HODL mentality, and this is the exact reason why Bitcoin is probably going to keep going up over time. At the same time, JP Morgan also said in a statement that they are expecting the spot ETF approval in December, what is of course already next month, in approximately 3 to 4 weeks from now on. And if we're quickly going to be looking at Ethereum, I see many people talking about Ethereum because yes, yesterday it had actually quite a good day here. Ethereum is right now sitting at a very important point in terms of the support against Bitcoin. I think if you were to be trading Ethereum, you really want to be out trading it against Bitcoin, because either you're in Bitcoin or either you are in Bitcoin or either you are in ETH. So let's see how that is going to be playing out here. But Ethereum right now is sitting at a very important level of support, but if we do break below this level, Ethereum could go much lower. And I mean, in previous bear markets as well, Ethereum has taken a big hits before potentially going then up again 400-500% against Bitcoin in that bull run. So Ethereum is indeed breaking out of this massive symmetrical triangle. It's still holding off 1800 US dollars. I think really it's going to be performing super well in the next bull run. So what I can currently see here is that a lot of these altcoins are actually bouncing towards the upside, but be on high alert. This is the total market cap for altcoins. We are remaining to be trading in this downward sloping trend here. We remain to be creating lower highs every single time here on the chart, and that basically is suggesting and basically is confirming that the altcoin market is still trading in a downtrend and is still massively down compared to the all-time high. While Bitcoin is right now 50% away from its all-time high, the altcoin market is still down over 64%. So altcoins are still taking a bigger hit than Bitcoin. Some altcoins are performing very well right now here, but once the ETF comes out here, probably the spotlight will go back on Bitcoin. Probably some altcoins are going to perform very well, but once Bitcoin comes down, these altcoins go down twice as hard. So that is maybe the time you could be benefiting from the volume volatility downwards. But historically speaking, if we're going to be looking at the Bitcoin dominance, because the Bitcoin dominance is the best way to measure when to be buying altcoins and when not to, is basically once Bitcoin breaks its all-time high. Because once Bitcoin breaks its all-time high, that is the point the Bitcoin dominance starts to be dropping exponentially downwards. And once the Bitcoin dominance starts to be dropping exponentially downward, that is actually the point you want to be getting into altcoins, and not once it is actually trending upwards, and that is what we're currently in. So I'm still going to be waiting really before positioning myself more and more into altcoins, because I still think the risk is most certainly very high. There are some altcoins going quite hard, but you have to understand, just like Cardano, it's maybe bouncing over 50% here. Cardano compared to Bitcoin may still be down over 90%, and honestly, it has been going up a little bit here, but it's still down 84% here, and probably against Bitcoin, it is going to keep suffering even more. So yeah, that is my message to everyone out there. Thank you so much for watching. If you did learn something from it, don't forget to slap up the like button, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.